On your market. With the intro done by the genius Cole Johnson and with the Willie Drew Willingham, I'm Brian. What's up, Drew? How are you?
I'm doing great, especially after seeing that awesome intro we just had. Thank you, Cole Johnson, for that awesome production.
Mm-hmm. Surprise, surprise, surprise. What's that? New microphone you got there?
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Last week I made an investment, because I got the new computer on Black Friday, and I was like, you know what? Now I want to sound great too. So to help you, help me, vice versa, and also with my weekly show as well, just wanted to bring a little bit more flavor to the production. I already have a radio voice, already sound great, just like my guy here, Snowman. We have the voice for this business. Now I have the
We do.
look for the business too. I got a little touch-up paint on the
We're
wall
getting
back there,
we
but
get
we're gonna
there.
get to that another day.
We're gonna get there. So
I knew
I
it.
can wear this for a day. All right. I can wear this up until Thursday night when the 49ers go to Seattle. And I just wanted to show you this. Wife got me this as a Christmas present, but what say you about what happened in Santa Claus? Oh, now you want to turn into the cool cat, huh?
Since
Okay.
you throw on the hat, I'm gonna throw on the shades, my man, because it's
Two
just the
cool
fire is
cats.
just too bright. I had to shade it down a little
Two cool senseis.
bit.
35. We'll begin in Santa Clara. 35-7 was the final. I'll give you the floor first, man, because what say you about all that? About what happened in
All
Santa
right.
Clara?
So the score wasn't even as close as it was at the end at 35-7 because the 49ers were giving them the epic beatdown the entire game. I mean, it was tough to see. It is definitely visible that Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II needs to hang him up at the end of this year. He has had a great career. He is a legend. No matter what Snowman says,
Yes.
he is the greatest of all
Yes.
time when it comes to quarterback, as he's playing at the age of
That
45.
he is not.
He's had some flashes of greatness this year, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's not take it too far out of context, but he's playing on a terrible team now. They are not the same team that they were 2 years ago. They don't have the same
Mhm.
offense, the same offensive line, or nor the defense. The 49ers defense is nasty. And if, with a capital if they make it to the Super Bowl, it will be because of that defense alone. Now, they've got Christian
Mhm.
McCaffrey in there, and they got Deebo Samuel, who hopefully, with him going down yesterday, that's not a season-ending injury. Is there any update on that yet, Snowman? Because I haven't heard anything updated on Deebo.
Ankle injury is what I'm being told. Ankle injury, not a knee injury as feared. They're going to
Okay.
monitor him day to day. It's more than likely he'll be out for the game Thursday night in Seattle because it's such a quick turnaround. But I'll probably have the report either late today or tomorrow. But it's more than likely he'll be out for the game in Seattle.
Is I mean, you still have Brandy Ayuk. He was still, a big benefactor of that extra time and those extra plays that were going his way because of Debo being out. Because Ayuk had a nice
Mhm.
touchdown shortly after Debo went out. So I mean, the game wasn't even close at all. I mean, when the Buccaneers started moving the ball a little bit, it
Really.
was like they would get the third down and they would get knocked out, or they would go for it on 4th and 2 or whatever, and then get knocked down. Tom
Mhm.
Brady throwing interception after interception yesterday. That last one being very, very bad looking, where it was batted up in the air, it was caught, and you just see TB12 fall on the ground as he's trying to, stop the forward progress that would end up being a pick six. So you know what, Snowman, I give you your credit. I give you the fact that you have got one bad team right now. However, just like every other team that you root for, whether it's the Warriors, or the White Sox or now with the 49ers, you are a homer and you give the homer pick. And in your mind, they're going to the Super Bowl and they're going to win this thing with the third string Mr. Irrelevant quarterback. And I'm sorry, it is not going to happen. I hope this soundbite is clipped out. And I hope I'm wrong, but I
Oh,
don't think it's going to
I'll
happen.
clip it out myself. Um, do you? I'm gonna have fun with that. I'm gonna have such fun with that when I create the promo. Um, all I gotta say is remember Jeff Hostetler. And yeah, he was QB2 and now QB3, but situation's still the same.
Yeah.
And I now what makes you think okay, I wanted to do that. I wanted to do this joke this morning, but I couldn't because my stomach was giving me issues. What makes you think I'm such a homer? Like you aren't with your Washington Redskins.
Hey, I was just happy to get you to admit that Tom Brady's great because I had to throw Tom Brady greater than LeBron. And you even said the great LeBron sucks, even though you wouldn't pick either one of them. But I got you to admit it
You darn
on the
tootin'.
show this
You darn tootin'. You darn tootin'. I won't pick either one of them.
morning.
This is going to be a running joke for us for as long as we're friends until we go 6 feet under. But it's fun. It's part of what makes this show fun. Part of what makes us fun working together. Now, tell me how the hell the Cowboys won yesterday.
Now for quite some time, it looked like the Texans had this thing. They
Mhm.
were playing great football, for 3.5 quarters. But that's the thing, Snowman. It's a 4-quarter game, and
It's a
we've seen this
four-quarter
so
game.
many times over the course of history since
Yeah,
we've
we
been
have.
alive, watching football as fans and now covering it. Okay, it's
Mhm.
it's the team that can finish at the end. You can play ugly.
Yes.
Look at Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was trashed for 3.5 quarters, but found a way to make it happen those last 4 and 5 minutes of the game to make you hope.
Especially in an overtime game against Pittsburgh. I don't
Yeah.
know how they
Oh, I'll
put
never
how
forget
they
that
pulled it
pass. That
off.
was great to Demaryius Thomas. That was a great, great pass that he had
Mhm.
for that touchdown. And the Broncos, except for the few Manning years that they had ever since then, have had some woes,
And
especially
we
this year with Russell Wilson. So we'll see how that goes with this offseason when they make some
let
changes.
me
But
give
the
let me give
Texans,
you the
though,
floor. Let me give you the floor with Russell Wilson and the Broncos.
I mean, that's even more
All right.
interesting than the Texans.
Here.
But
I'll give you the floor. Give me a few minutes because I got to step away for a minute, but I'll give you the floor with Russell Wilson.
so Russell Wilson, guys, this guy has been playing not up to his contract at all for the entirety of this season. You look at how this game went, they even took him out. You got Brett Rippon coming in there who even threw for a touchdown and had a pick. Russell Wilson did probably have one of his best games of the year yesterday and against probably one of the best teams in the league, throwing for 247 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he had that one pick. He has thrown a lot of picks this year, but it could have been worse. I mean, you would expect him to play some of those horrible games he's played all year against this one team. And when you get the ball to Jerry Jeudy for 3 touchdowns, that's your number one guy. It's Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy are supposed to be like one of the best, tandems in the league because of how young and talented they are. Unfortunately, it's just not working out for this team, whether it be the play calling or the offensive line not standing up, not keeping Russell Wilson upright. He's having to dance around in that pocket way too much. So it's going to be interesting to see what this Denver Broncos team does, because when you see teams that have actually rebuilt themselves, like, when you think of the San Francisco 49ers, like Snowman's team, I'm not trying to get on that Homer bandwagon now, but what I can tell you is this team is not going to be horrible for the next 4 or 5 years. We're not going to see what the Browns once were now that we got them with Deshaun Watson. And it looks like they would have been better off sticking with Jacoby Brissett in there, quarterback, rather than having Deshaun Watson. But back to the Broncos. The Broncos have been an absolute dumpster fire all year, and they were starting out looking like a dumpster fire yesterday. It could have been worse because it to me, it kind of seems like in part of the game, the Broncos were picking up that slack after they were down by so many points. But at the same time, it looks like the Chiefs took the foot off the gas a little bit at the same time. Had they been really, really working hard towards that second half of the game, we might have seen a different outcome than the Chiefs only winning by 6 points, because Mahomes turning the ball over 3 times, that was what kept them in the game. And that's why I say taking the foot off the gas, because had he had a little bit more of an understanding of what was going on, had his, what is the word that I'm trying to think of, like that one word that like everybody boosts up when they're doing stats in games, like their mental capacity is what I'm looking for when it comes to that, like in video games. But I guess the IQ, Mahomes' IQ definitely slipped yesterday, and with him being in the MVP race of the NFL, and he's had a great season. You kind of have to look back at this Denver Broncos game where he's had 3 interceptions in the game, and you have to ask yourself, is that an MVP like game of the year? I don't know. So we'll have to see about that, because Aaron Rodgers back-to-back MVP, although he's not going to get it this year based upon how he's played and how the Green Bay Packers have played. I have to look at the fact that during the time that he won back-to-back MVP, I don't recall him throwing 3 interceptions in a game. Hell, there were years where he barely threw 3 interceptions in an entire year, let alone
Mhm.
one game. So when you think about this aspect of the Denver Broncos game with the Chiefs, I felt like this was one of the more important games of the week, because
Mhm.
you had the 49ers beat down the Bucks, but then you have Patrick Mahomes in the MVP race, and he throws 3 interceptions in a game. And I think there was that one year where Aaron Rodgers didn't even throw
That no
3 in the
look
entire
touchdown
year.
he threw.
Do what? What'd you say?
And that no look touchdown he threw.
Yeah, and the no-look touchdown. So, when you think about all that, Taylor Heinicke has the no-look pass that he threw for that big play last week. You gotta throw my shout out to my Washington team right there. I already know how Snowman feels with the name, and I do too. But when it comes to no-look passes, eyes closed passes, Heinicke's got one of the best ones I can recall in recent time. And when I think back on this Denver Broncos game, and I think about the performance by both teams, Russell Wilson had one of his best games of the season. It's sad to say, with he's had better games than this in the past. But Mahomes throwing 3 interceptions is like the highlight of the weekend, in my opinion.
Mhm. I never I You're an Atlanta Braves fan, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I wanted to be sure I got that right. One day, one happy day, your team and mine will meet for a World Series title. I don't know how I see it, but one day that will happen. If I could do an all-time game, I would pit either the 95 or the 2021 Braves against the 2005 White Sox. That would be a simulation game we'd have to do.
2021 Braves were special,
Yeah, they
but
were.
I think the 95 team was better than the 2. Like, I would much rather have that team of the 90s, and that was probably the
You know,
best
it'd be
team
a
they
great
had in the 90s was that team.
You know, it'd be a great pitching matchup. Tom
Who?
Glavine against Mark Burley.
That would bet all the lefties.
That would be that would at least be 10 innings of shutout ball. At least 10.
Yeah, because
The way they throw.
both of their curveballs were nasty. But that's just that natural lefty thing, man. They can throw junk. That's just
And
how it is.
Burley's changeup had got nastier over the years.
Mhm.
I mean, when he first premiered it, it was flat, and folks can hit it, especially lefties. But over the years, that changeup got slower and slower and nastier, and you're going, where did this pitch come from? Like, where did this pitch come from? To the NBA, and Nike has cut ties with Kyrie Irving, so Kyrie is going to put tape over the Nike swoosh logo on his shoes. You know, how stupid can one person be?
I mean, that's still wearing the property. So, a
Mhm.
big old piece of tape isn't gonna cover it up.
It sure isn't.
It's like having, a bad tattoo and, trying to get a cover up, but it just doesn't work out. Like, there's certain things you can cover up, but it's kind of hard to cover up Nike, man.
Yeah, it is.
You can definitely look at
It's
the shoe and tell what it is.
you. Well, come on. I mean, piece of tape covering up the swoosh logo. A swoosh logo that's been famous since 1984. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And that spawned another. And that spawned a spinoff. Of course, I'm talking about the Jordan brand. How
Mhm.
are you going to cover that up?
Tape's gonna come off eventually, Snowman. Band-Aids don't hold on forever.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Believe me, I've seen my share and quite a few Band-Aids over the course of this past summer.
And the longer you leave it on, the uglier it gets.
The uglier it gets.
You gotta change it out. But this is not a Band-Aid situation, my man. And you cannot Band-Aid over this swoosh logo with a piece of tape. It just doesn't work out.
Like I said, I've seen my share of Band-Aids when I was going through the problems with my feet and the wounds on them. No, often they had to change those things. No, often they had to change the bandages on them. And you were, over the summer, you were wondering, okay, all right, Snowman, I haven't heard from you in a couple hours. What are you doing? Walking around the house with bandages all the way up to my knee. Because what they would do is they would bandage the foot and they would put wrapping on it all the way up to the knee, so nothing will happen and nothing will come off and things like that. But I've seen my share of bandages, as have you, being a baseball player. They don't come off. It's just not a good look. And for Kyrie, with everything that he's done, and nobody wants to say it this way, with everything that he's done, it just gets worse and worse for him. And when Nike said, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, what do you do?
I mean, we almost need Colin Kaepernick him. Like, we need to get him out of the league, just not let him back in. Like,
right.
It's sad to say that. Like, he needs to get Colin Kaepernick. Like, that's it. I don't even like saying it like that. I don't even like bringing it up. But it's like, this is the first real athlete that I can say that deserves to be Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick didn't even deserve to get Colin Kaepernick. But Kyrie Irving does.
But see, Kaepernick created his own situation by walking away from $20 million.
And yeah, but Kyrie has created his own situation by opening his mouth.
Open his mouth and posting a link, and people want to defend the fact that he just posted a link. Newsflash: he kind of violated his contract.
Yeah,
matter of fact, he violated two of them, one with the Nets and one with Nike, and that's why I call them the Brooklyn mess since he showed up.
Well, you look at his track record, the way he left the Celtics, the way he left Cleveland, even though a lot of people were trying to pin that on LeBron, looking back on it now, you hate on LeBron all you want to, but he is a great teammate. Like, people like playing with him overall. Like, there's not many people that have come out and spoke against LeBron as a teammate. Now, you can say whatever you want on the all-time list, but when it comes as a teammate, and you put both of these guys hand in hand, and you got LeBron in one hand and Kyrie in the other, everyone in the league is going to pick to play with LeBron over Kyrie any day of the week, because they know what you got. Somebody's going to share the ball, who's going to be there for you, and the results will come eventually. But you got to have more like-minded people like that on a team. And it's like when Kyrie is on a team, it seems like there's more toxic energy than there is anything else. And Kyrie got lucky that he wasn't there longer than he was in Cleveland, or he wouldn't even have that championship with LeBron. LeBron carried that team to that championship.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, it was 2016. I'm going to pause for 60 seconds. And when we come back, we're going to discuss Heisman shenanigans. And believe me, there were quite a few shenanigans because the wrong player got the Heisman Trophy. Back in a minute.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast.
Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network, presents a Sertoba Media production where the struggle is real to be awesome.
Acknowledge me.
You should know your role and shut your mouth!
You know, you're gonna have to
Had
redo that promo with the new microphone.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You
have
do
to.
that.
I mean, it's coming out in January. So for those of you like the
Mhm.
hype has been there
That's
for a
enough.
little bit. It's coming out in January. Had to upgrade some tools, new computer, new mic. Everything's good, and just got to finish writing it all out, man. Because I've got my weekly
Good.
thing with the Inner Out Sports Debate. Got this weekly thing with Snowman, but it's a whole other animal. Sports entertainment is different, and you've got to write a great story if you want to keep up with those storylines.
Well, it's like you said, it's a whole nother animal, just like we're taking on with this. And Derek, thank you for giving us part of the show. Okay, we won't say the original title that he gave us for this. Won't say it on the. And Drew and I shared such a laugh when we looked at that, and then Drew was like, "Wait a minute, we can't use that title.
No,
That just sounds wrong."
I
But
don't
we
think we
do
would be
drink.
forgiven by our families if we would have used that.
That is an understatement.
Shout out to Vic too, because Vic's part of the
Thank you,
other half of
Victor.
that. For calling me a sensei for that promo,
Which you
and
are.
you
Which you
know,
are.
yeah, I've also got my hair in the ponytail, ready to rock. So it's about to
Yes.
Master Sensei
Yes.
Snowman. We're gonna
I
bring
don't
you
have any
guys.
hair, so I'm good. I don't need a ponytail. I don't have any hair. I'm good.
Hey, here
But
in a few months when I cut it off, I'll donate it to you.
the original title, both Drew and I into a fit of hysterics. And after we had time to look at it, we're both going, "Wait a minute, this just can't ride," because we can't. All I say is we kept the unleashed part, but we had to change the other. We had to change the other parts of it to the Heisman Trophy. Why didn't Max Duggan get the Heisman Trophy?
It's a shame,
There's
Snowman,
something wrong with the picture.
with what he did for TCU this year. TCU wouldn't be in the Final Four if it wasn't for Max Duggan. Okay, that's
Exactly.
number 1 point, hands down. I mean, USC, where are they at in comparison to this? They are in the top 10.
Mhm.
They're 10th on this list. How does a team that's barely in the top 10, how does that quarterback get the Heisman Trophy? Caleb Williams did have a great year, but he didn't have as great of a year as Max Duggan did, on top of helping lead this team to a chance at a national championship.
And there's a lot of folks that are looking at TCU to be the wildest of the wild cards, because you got Ohio State, you got Michigan, you got Georgia, 3 blue bloods, and then you got TC, former Southwest Conference member, and Max Duggan. Matter of fact, 2 Heisman Trophy finalists since 2000 for TCU. One, the other's LaDainian Tomlinson. Short list. Someone sent me that little factoid, and I couldn't watch the ceremony. No, I had gotten a little inside information from a friend of mine that they were going to present it to Caleb Williams. Here's a question: should the Heisman Trophy be after the playoff votes in it? Should the voting take place? Should the voting take place along the ceremony after the playoff?
I mean, do we have the MVP announced after the Super Bowl? I mean, I like where your thought is, but at the same time, it's kind
True.
of like switching the MVP up after the Super Bowl. It's a season MVP, not
Yeah.
a playoff MVP, kind of like how you have a championship game MVP and then Super Bowl MVP or whatnot.
Mhm.
When it comes to football, I feel like the timing's right. I just feel like they got it completely wrong this year with what Max Duggan did for this team. I mean, the stats don't lie, but
He
it's
got
kind of like the Jalen Hurts situation
TCU
in
to overtime.
Philadelphia.
He got TCU against Kansas State. That should be enough right there.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the situation in Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts in the NFL. Like his
Yeah.
impact on the team makes more of a difference than what stats are alone. And with what Max
True.
Duggan did and with where they're at currently, I feel like that should impact the fact that he got the team to the Final Four, and he got, the Ike said it best in the comments. He got screwed because
He did.
this top
He
10
got screwed.
team quarterback shouldn't be the one that won the Heisman.
Yeah. I mean, Caleb Williams had an outstanding year. Let's not get it twisted. But Max Duggan brought his team to the college football playoff. I mean, the drive he had against Kansas State in Dallas alone should have cemented that. And that's why I prompt the question: should the Heisman be treated like the Conn Smythe Trophy? Because the Conn Smythe Trophy is the MVP of the entire playoffs. Shout to Duncan Keith, Patrick Kane, and Jonathan Taves, 3 Blackhawks that won it. But here, let's do a piece of trivia. Who's the only 3-time Conn Smythe Trophy winner? Now, I'll drop you a hint. He played a very important position of goaltender.
You got me, Snowman. I don't know this one.
Patrick Waugh.
Okay. I do know him. I just didn't know that was the winner of
Patrick
that.
Waugh.
Okay.
The only 3-time Conn Smythe Trophy winner. But I think that's how MVPs, well, playoff MVPs should be treated. Now, should there be a separate award for playoff MVP for the college football playoff?
I feel like there should. I mean,
Yes.
you got the game MVP, but that's not the same as a playoff MVP. But at the same time, the higher ranks like the NFL don't really have a playoff MVP. They just do it by
True.
whatever the game is. Like you got the player of the game, but then championship game and Super Bowl, you've got an actual MVP. So I feel like it's set up right when it comes to that. But when it comes to just their choice in this year alone, they got it wrong. And I don't know why they're looking down on TCU, like in the case with LT as well. Like they're still a pretty big school, and they're making a big impact on the college playoff picture.
Well,
you need to
why
acknowledge
they're
that.
looking down. They're looking down at TCU. They're treating TCU this year like Cincinnati last year. They're treating TCU this year like Cincinnati last year. No one expected Cincinnati to run the table and get to the playoff. No one expected TCU to get as far as they did, come up 3 points short against Kansas State. And they thought, and a lot of people, a lot of pundits included, thought that loss to Kansas State would keep them out of the playoff. Surprisingly to me, it did not. Because they have played dynamite. They've been dynamite. And I'm glad they got it right and they kept TCU in. But now not to reward Max Duggan with the Heisman Trophy? There's a big fat problem I have with that.
Yeah, and just like Wise said in the comments, "What's up, my man?" He said, we all saw what happened to Sensei in the playoffs. So
yes,
history just writes itself when it comes to these situations, and the voting process for this. I get it. I get the reasons why they're voting the way they are, but at the same time, they're not getting it right when it came to 2022's Heisman winner, and that is Max Duggan. Should be our Heisman today. We should be celebrating this on Monday, not talking bad about the Heisman pick. We should be talking great about it on this Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Max Duggan, to me, with what he did for TCU and with TCU, was the Heisman Trophy winner. Wise in the comments, we all saw what happened to Cincy in the playoffs. Well, that's why TCU's the number. Well, that's why TCU's in the middle 2 seeds. They're expecting to get run over by Michigan, and they expect Michigan to just run through them. But there's one thing TCU has, and next week we'll do our college football playoff preview where we'll all 4 teams. Little teaser for next Monday. There's one thing that TCU has that Michigan doesn't have: speed.
Yes, and that is going to be a major impact on this playoffs. And Cole, you got it right. The 2022 Heisman, no matter who won it, would have been like, with every candidate.
Yep. And shout out to Cole Sports for tuning us in. He says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen," and Wise, good afternoon to you.
And Cole, while you're watching,
hurry up and bring Cole Sports back.
Bring it back.
Right.
But thank you for that intro. That intro was awesome.
Yes.
Thank you, Cole. And I'm waiting for Cole Sports to come back. So now you've had in the same day, you've had Victor Locke, you've had Snowman, and now D. Willie saying, bring back Cole Sports before the new year, if you could, with a special holiday edition.
I know with him, with his schedule, it's going to depend on time.
Yeah.
And I know look, it's like all. But man, before we get out of here, speaking of greatest of all time,
Oh God.
I sent a birthday message this morning to the greatest game of all time. And that, of course, would be Mr. Bob Barker, who is celebrating his 99th birthday today.
Bob, congratulations. 99. That's a historic
99.
number.
Yeah,
Making
it
it
is.
that far. I mean,
I mean, I joke with my wife this morning because she's still a little bit under the weather. There are a few things you stick. Some saltine crackers, some Sprite or ginger ale in this case with Jody. You need an episode of The Price is Right with Bob Barker. That's all you need. You get through that
I
day with
miss
that.
him being on TV, man. Yeah, I miss him being
I
on
do.
TV. Like, it's only been like 10, 12 years. I can't remember how long it's been since he retired or whatever. He went for a very long time on that show. It might have been like in the 2000s. Time just might be
35
slipping by,
years worth.
but yeah, he was on
Yeah.
there. He was the game show version of Johnny Carson for who was to television. So, Bob
Yeah.
Barker, thank you for all the memories. One more year you got left, and I hope you make it to see triple digits. Betty White was almost there not too long ago during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Bob Barker needs to see it,
passed away right
especially
after the new
for
year.
that punch on Adam Sandler. You deserve to see 100.
Well, let me pull up one of my favorite incidents. Let me do this promo. Catch Stuck in My Mind podcast, 5 p.m. Eastern time live. Can't wait for that. But let me pull up this. Let me pull up this from 1981.
Hans, I'd like to know a
One
little
of
bit
my
more.
favorite.
I've been on television that I've had an entire audience screaming yams at me. Well, yams right back at you.
Y'all are gonna
Now,
kick out of
if
it.
I open that and that is less than $1.09, you win $10,000. Now, yeah, she says, let me move back. I might hurt you. That's exactly what I was going to discuss with you. All right? It is 80 cents. Give her $10,000. Move it up there.
And the chase is on.
Bob Barker's like, I'm married, yo.
I know. That's exciting. Yeah. Very happy. Yeah.
Someone got her groove back.
Just a moment. I'm very happy for you, and I would have let you grab me, but I didn't want you to have to spend your $10,000 on my hospital bill.
I wouldn't mind it. You can
Thank you very much. Go over there and pick up your check, Pauline. Congratulations. Our first $10,000 winner in the grand game that we have.
That's
Now
awesome.
see how he pulled that off with a 3-piece suit and the shoes he was wearing, and he hit it with the spin move. He hit it with the spin move.
Oh man,
With
speaking with a shout out to
with a corded microphone.
with the shout out to Bob Barker. I got to give a shout out as well. Like you had said, for the Stuck in My Mind podcast tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Definitely check out Wise's show. Everybody get ready for Cole Sports with a Z. It is coming back, as he has confirmed in the comments. He will try to shoot before 2023, but can't make any promises. And Cole, as somebody like Snowman, myself, we get it. Busy time, like a lot of projects going on this time of year. Holidays is tough, but just appreciate you for doing that intro. For one, I can't say it enough. Thank you to Snowman for making this happen. Listening to the fans that want to change it to a name, and the Sports Senseis Unleashed is a great name as we are capping off episode 1.
Yes.
Another shout out to Snowman for and call up there for our cash apps and stuff. Thank you to those who can donate. Definitely hit up the
Yes.
tall man and Dr. K50. Help my man get back to North Carolina so he'll be on the East Coast, closer to me, and we can do more projects as well. Definitely, guys, tune in every
I
Monday at
told
1:05 p.m.
Darrell
Eastern.
that
This is going to be fun.
I told Darrell, I told Darrell, once we get back, the first thing we need to do is share a microphone for a baseball game. I told him that, and he said, let's make it happen. You need to be with us. It needs to be a 3-man booth, because it wouldn't be right for me and Darrell to be in the booth and you not there with us for baseball. So we're
That
gonna
is so much
try. We're gonna
greatness.
try our damnedest.
That would be so much greatness on the microphone. Me with just two of you guys alone, like you two alone are greatness. Just to imagine how much greatness that game. That should be like the TikTok video I got that's almost 10,000 views that I posted like 2 days ago.
Yes.
That would be like a million with the type of play-by-play we would
with
give.
Kyle Nash.
Yeah.
And
we were giving love to Snowman about
that.
How do you feel about it? Well, before we go,
I know.
Snowman, I'll ask you this question. How do you feel about a topic that we had that somebody said in the comments about Snowman doesn't think that Tom Brady is the GOAT? And that video is at almost 10,000 views. That's got to be a great feeling for Snowman, too.
That video's nuts, man. I love it. I love it. And you with your production skills having Stone Cold ready, and Kyle told you to get Stone Cold ready. What?
Hey, working with the best like you
Brilliant.
and Snowman, Darrell,
Brilliant.
and all those, everybody else, you guys were rubbing off on each other. Like teamwork makes the dream work. We give each other ideas. And like I was still doing pretty good before we started doing these things together with Snowman in the Morning, but being like and doing weekly stuff with you guys and watching your shows, it has helped elevate my game too. So it helps me with the creative process. So thank you guys too. As much as it's fun for you, it's as much fun for me too, because we're only helping each other grow out here in these streets.
Well, let me shout Cole Sports once again. When I brought him aboard as not only my co-host, but executive producer, A, I knew I made the right choice, and B, it was the only choice I had in mind. And I presented this to him when I was down in North Carolina. It was perfect. It's just perfect. Just like the Sports Sensei is just perfect. It's just absolutely perfect. And Darrell was the first one in here. I'll throw this comment up here. He was the first one in here. And then Victor Locke came in, Ike came in, Rod came in, and the interaction has been off the charts. Wise with the Stuck in My Mind podcast, Cole Sports dropping by. You know, we love all you guys, and being interactive. Rod Peterson up in Canada. Oh, he's in Florida. He's in Florida now. But him and his crew, they were bringing the fans into it. So I made Snowman in the Morning a little more active, and now it's just everything with this franchise is interactive, especially with the In-Or-Out Sports division. Man, oh man. And got a piece of breaking news. New show from Wise, from Cole Sports and Wise LA. Oh Lord. I'm going to enjoy that production. Man,
Bow.
Listen, I will make this offer. I will make the offer right now. When you guys launch, you have a network behind you.
And fans.
The SDM Sports Radio Network, audio and video, is growing. And I leave y'all with this. The coolest thing happened to me Friday when I did Jennings County and East Central. I'm walking into the arena and I hear a voice behind me go, "Hey, is that the Snowman from Snowman in the Morning?" Recognize me, recognize my show. Had a few other parents come up to me. The father of sharpshooting guard Matt Hines. And he said, "We absolutely love your show and love your calls." So any doubt that I had, and I will admit I had some for a little bit, erased immediately with that piece of recognition right there. We're gonna
You
get
got to
on
get
out of
yourself
here,
out there,
but
Snowman. You did. Like, you got to get yourself out there. It's like internet promotion is still great, but the interaction one-on-one, which we didn't have during the pandemic, which we're starting to get back again, and it's it's relieving to us at the same time, because I know the exact way you felt when the pandemic happened and it shut everything down and we didn't know what was going to happen. It was heartbreaking to those of us like you and I that go out there and cover sports, and like your team,
right.
my team, Legacy Maker, we felt all this. It's only been within this 2022 year that we've really started to feel things come back together, with us getting back into NFL
Yep.
games, doing college basketball. We had the high school stuff, and we've had certain small things throughout 21, but 22 was the revival year. I brought my show back. You started bringing your shows back once you recovered from your surgeries and stuff. So this has been a really great year. And for us to end the year with this show, and for Snowman and in the morning doing as great as they are, and SDM Sports Radio Network, you're on a roll, man. So keep that fire going as we go into episode 2 next week. I'm so hyped. This one was definitely a fun one. Thank you again, brother.
Listen, you help make this go. It would be remiss of me if I didn't give you any flowers right now, but man, it just seemed right, and it just seems perfect. It just seems perfect. So to the Stuck in My Mind podcast for Cole and Wise, and I'm going to tempt Victor Locke to put one together also. Y'all have a radio network. Y'all have a radio network whenever you launch, because what I'm going to do after a little break today is work on my radio network's website. And for those of you listening via SDM Sports Radio, basketball tomorrow, the boys for Jennings County take on the Greenberg Pirates. 7 p.m. pregame show, 7:30 with the tip off. And boy, it was so much fun just getting back into the booth. I did 3 football games, and then when the basketball season launched, it just seemed everything took off. Everything took off.
I'm sorry, Snowman, but I have to try to do it. Cole did it for me earlier when you had already taken a break, and Sick brought it up, so now I have to try to do it. Drew Willingham is proudly brought to you by Slackjaw VPN. If you want to slack off on the down low, choose Slackjaw VPN for smooth slacking.
You realize this is going to get into the mad scientist's mind. And by the end of this week, I just have the feeling by the end of this week, there will be a commercial put together.
Oh my God, that would be great.
You know Cole as well as I do. If an idea gets to him, it'll make the airwaves. Watch. What? Do I need to explain Hofax?
No, but I love that part. And if Chris Bass is watching this, I want to get you as a guest on my show at some point, because you're so entertaining, dude. I love watching when Chris Bass is on here.
See, I'm excited because I offered Chris Bass to come onto my podcast as well, but I'm also afraid for the simplest of reasons. I won't stop laughing.
I know it's tough. It's really tough.
With some of the things that he comes up with, we're all, for those of you who watch the morning show, Bass joins us every Friday morning during hour 2, and there would be just this one thing he would say that would send us all into a fit of hysterics. Just into a fit of hysterics.
Dude, I miss being able to watch the show during the week, because with my work schedule, I'm working like 5/10s now, Tuesday through Saturday. So I have to actually go back and watch the show at night and stuff, or I'll listen to it like sometimes in between like stops when I'm driving. But but definitely like Wednesdays and Fridays are like my 2 favorite days, other than Monday, because Monday is my favorite day because I get to be on here with Snowman too.
Yeah.
But Wednesdays and Fridays are like my 2 favorite days, brought to you by Snowman and the crew, because you got the Bronze Sexual Confessions on Wednesdays, LJPN, and then you've got Friday with Chris Bass on there. It is entertainment like no other. You love sports. We love bringing you entertainment, but like the comedy, like and it's organic. Like it's not
nuttiness.
forced. It just rolls off the
No.
tip of the tongue, man. It's great.
It's and we leave y'all with this. My favorite phrase from Base. Don't soil the show by putting crap on
it. Penis water is my favorite one too, man.
Penis water. Oh God!
And when you just see the drink in the glass,
and it's yellow. It's yellow.
Oh man!
Bass voiced it. Cole produced it, and when Cole pushed the button and he came back with that commercial, I fell out of my chair. I'm like I'm like the late great Rod Bramlett from Auburn. I think I just broke my chair.
I do want to ask the permission of you and Cole while we are on the air, if you don't mind. I want to ask you a favor. Would you guys mind if we rebroadcast this show after we go live on Legacy Maker? If we rebroadcast the episode,
take it.
Okay, just to help give some more notice, through there too, because we got a decent following, but that would be cool.
Look, if you can help our following and we can help yours, take it.
Yeah, because
take it, man. I mean, Darrell already said that we're sister networks. Take it.
Well, this will be into this evening then as well. So to help get more recognition to the SDM Sports Radio Network. After I finish working on my car out in the driveway, I will definitely do that.
Then I offer y'all this an outlet to the booth for my game Tuesday night. Show is part of you. Cole says the show is part of yours anyway.
I still can't get over that intro, man. Cole, you crushed it, and I hope I can do one as great as that someday. Like I do okay, but that was awesome.
Listen, I already told Cole that whenever he brings Cole Sports back, whatever day, it's live on SDM Sports Radio, and whatever you produce, I'd like the same permission from you to re-air In or Out Sports Debate.
Absolutely.
Well, this show's part yours anyway. Look at the commercials we come up with: Grimy Chapstick, Stupid University, Braun Juice. Oh Lord!
And the seal milk
and Braun 100% seal milk. I can't believe. Well, I can believe it now because it was voiced. Someone put it in the chat, and usually it's Ryan or you that come up with some of these splendid commercials. But that classic rant by Chris Bass about Stupid University, he hit me with that and I walked out.
Dude, the best ideas come from the chat. Like,
yes, that's why we love being interactive with you guys.
Fanatic Feedback Zone. Thank you guys as always.
Yep, the Feedback Zone presented by Fanatics. Everything across SDM Sports Radio will be presented by SeatGeek and Fanatics. Got a shop that we're going to put together, and thank you to Wise El Jefe for coming up and creating that outstanding logo for SDM Sports Radio. I told Wise, can you come up with something for my radio network? The next morning, I saw that logo, and all I said was perfect.
That thing is great. I mean, he did the graphic for my show too, so he's on a roll with it. So I got to give him credit for that as well.
Yes, he did. All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in to the Sports Senseis Unleashed. For Sensei D. Willie, this is Sensei Snowman. We are out of here until next Monday. God bless you, everybody. So long.